Hey, Mike, I just seen the comment. I don't know how long I'll be on, Mike, so you can go ahead and go live, and then I'll probably hop on there after. Like I said, I don't know how long I'm going to be on tonight. I don't know how many people's going to be watching either, Mike. So, yeah, go ahead and um, I'll hop on after, or I might even run it in the background in my other one. So, what are you working on tonight, Mike? Did you decide to buy the printer, Mike, or? That sounds pretty interesting. Hey, what's up, the print house? Let me check something out really quick. I gotta see. Golder.com. Hey, the print house. I just sent you an email. Yeah, I had this hat last week, Mike. Um, I ordered like 5 different ones for people at the shop in the area here. They seen it, some of my local customers, and I ordered one for me. This yellow is like it's a safety yellow. It's super bright. Hey, Patty, how's it going? I was wondering where my success shirt, but I don't fit. I'm a medium. I don't fit in the medium. Yeah, he's supposed to be getting some more eventually to me to print house, and when he does, I will definitely get you one of the sizes. Have you used super color stuff again since last video from last year? Do you still prefer DTF over it? Yeah, I've used it 2 or 3 other times. Some samples that I had, and then some samples other people sent me that they had printed and just want to know if I could get it to work. Um, I still prefer direct to film. One of the major things is the cost. I will say this: Supercolor has a new program now, so they lowered their 20 prints down to, I think it's 10 prints, 5 or 10 prints. So it's and the price is the same still. So it does make it a little better. So you're not stuck with 20 something prints if you don't need 20 something prints. Um, but the price compared to direct to film still is cheaper, and you can get any size print that you want. Is direct G better? DTG is actually direct to garment, which is pretty much the same process as a direct to film, but instead of actually putting the glue on the back, um, of the direct to film, you're actually putting the adhesive on the shirt and then pre-treating it. Is DTG better than Supercolor? I want to sell t-shirt transfers. I was thinking Supercolor transfers would be more affordable for me instead of getting a DTG done somewhere else because it's so expensive. Yeah, true. Start out small and be safe. I'm in UK, by the way. Yeah, okay, so in UK there are in the link down below, I have wand transfers and I have Fusion. What is it? The paper's not over. It's Fusion Prints. Them are the two transfer companies. I do my own transfers, but I don't ship out of the United States. About to do at least 100 t-shirt prints. Let's go, Brando. JBM was sending me a care package, but maybe came by foot. Just give him. That's pretty funny to print house. Gordy.com. The other thing about the other ones, they will still be a lot cheaper than Supercolor. The other thing too, they're not based in the US. They are based in one is like India and the other one is I can't think. Ryan knows where it is. It's over there, but literally like they both are turnaround time is about 7 days from when you place the order. You have the package in 7 days. Super fast. They both are usually a flat rate shipping fee of about $15. So you get them usually within 7 days. They're about $15. The nice thing, you can buy just one transfer. So if you wanted to do a test, you could buy. What's up, JBM? You could do just one transfer with them, and oh yeah, you just got to pay the shipping. But if you wanted like one transfer of this, one transfer of that, you can gang the sheet, and there's no extra charge for ganging. You can put whatever you want on there. So like a good example, like for instance, this is one of my clothing lines, my Detroit brand, and so what it is like you can print the transfer. So like I can print one of these and then I can print one of these right above it or next to it, depending on how I'm laying out my film. And now I've got two different transfers on whatever size sheet I need. So you can do like one or two of each. So you're not stuck with like getting stuck with like 20 transfers that don't sell. If you got a few different ideas that you're working with. No, this one is, this shirt is actually printed by Goon Life. This is the giveaways that he had, Patty, a while back. This is one of his giveaway shirts. I got the CAD color printable foam from HTV, but still haven't tested it. Let me know how it goes, Mike. I know a lot of people are like the print house uses a printable HTV. He likes it a lot. On my Momaki, I used to use, I can't think who it was. I'd have to look for one of my rolls I still have floating around. I actually love the print and the pressability of it. The only downside, like if I was doing something with high detail, like this stuff wouldn't matter really. I mean, the weeding might suck on this right here, but on the other stuff, it actually is no problem at all. All right, yeah, that works. The print house. Like the sample I got on the cap. Yeah. And so that's the other thing. Like I said, depending on what you're printing, like some of that HTV stuff, the new printable HTV, like if it was something like this, I mean, you can get some amazing things, great quality, great price. Cost per me, since I have a DTG machine or direct to film machine, It's still cheaper to do direct to film than it is for me to use HTV. But if you don't have a direct to film, that HTV is literally cheaper than opaque film, or what is it called? Whatever that everyone uses on the film. And the nice thing too, you're buying 20-inch wide rolls, so you can like put multiple prints on there and kind of gang the sheet up that way. So I think it's not a bad idea, like I said, because most people, the bad thing is like most people do prints that you could cut. Like this could be cut out, like printed and cut, so you could do that. Other prints like this, well, you could print and contour cut this. It's not a problem because it's all solid. But like, I only got one that I know wouldn't cut good. Something like this Hellraiser one right here, where all the little blood splats. That would be the only thing that HTV wouldn't be good at doing. It'd be horrible weeding that. But anything else, so the HTV isn't too bad. That's another good option, actually. Yeah, been doing general printing HTV for about 10 years, but like the foam base on the sample I saw on the cap for certain projects with embroidery isn't worth it, or yeah, some of that more puff stuff, Mike. I mean, I think, especially with the pro, I think there's markets for it. I think the big thing is like you said, like if it's not worth the embroidery, but you want to get another effect. I really think that like there's a lot of things that people don't really explore much. Even like a good example, like you could, where this is actually puff. My hair is all nappy, but like it's hard to see, but like the success is puff. So like, and I'm sure you know this, Mike, like, but like you could have printed that in the white poly and then sublimated that. So you could have put like a USA flag over that and done just like a blue background, or like a white background, or whatever color background you wanted. So you could have got really creative with it. Like we used to do some patches like that back in the day. We'd print the patch and then sew it onto the hat, because we were doing stuff like that had gradients on it, and the gradients didn't have to line up perfect, but we were just sublimating over it. And then there's no way you're going to get thread to do the gradient. You're going to have them sharp lines if you try to change the colors, and it just don't come out good. Can get more detail on printable versus embroidered too. Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Like to do a USA flag or like a waving flag, like it's hard to get that kind of detail in embroidery. Like I said, we did I don't have it around here, but we used to do a gradient. They had a gray gradient, and it was exhaust pipes that they had, and their logo had a gradient in it. And it was super small stuff anyways, and they had wording across it. And so what we would do, like I said, we would print the area or embroider the area and then sublimate over top of it. And so we were getting all the stuff on there, and it's stuff that would never be possible to embroider. It's just the detail was too small on it. So you could get that nice effect of the embroidered look with all the other colors. And like I said, it's not for everything, and it's not something I do on all the stuff. But you can get some nice effects out of like different things. Like I said, it's just spending time and figuring it out. The print house, do me one favor. Send me something with your logo. I've got the other care package ready for you. I just want to put something with your logo in it. So if you don't mind, email me something. And I thank you so much. And I'll get that shipped this week for you to Print House. Guys, go check out Mike's channel, NovaWorks Color Imaging, and the Print House. Check out Goon Life, guys. Great channels, great people to watch. If you guys aren't already subscribed to them, go check them out. They do great content. They're full of great information. That's all right. The Print House. What's up, Matt Grinder? But yeah, World Dot. The nice thing too, like I said, is like here's the other thing too. Like these are another transfer. This is my logo, of course. This is on a DTF. So what it is like, let's say I don't want to, or a perfect example. See how I printed this bottom? This is more or less for a left chest. But what it is for one, you can cut it off if you want and then use it for something else. But what it came in handy for is like, here's an example. This is sublimated. And so you don't have white. So the wood is the color of the white. Where with directive films, you can do this with Supercolor, and all the credit goes to the print house down there. I seen him do it, and literally he did it on a cork coaster. So I actually followed his knowledge and did my own thing. He had a little bit of issues getting it to peel off. The nice thing with directive film versus Supercolor, these things come right off. They like perfect, and I don't mean the stick, like the film on top peels right off, no problems. And this thing's on there, like this thing ain't coming off. Works perfect. And then the other thing too, you can layer them. Like if you look, all I did was cut the bottom and throw it on top, and I stacked it on, and you don't feel it. So you can stack things up when you do the directive films. You can also put them on a lot of substrates. If you haven't checked it out already, World.com. I actually, I've done it. Like I said, this is a coaster. I did it on tile. Tile is a little tricky, but the directive film sticks to almost anything. Most of your other processes are not going to work on that. Like if you let, for instance, the HTV that we were all talking about, HTV, you might get HTV to stick to wood. I've never tried. You're not going to get HTV to stick to vinyl though. And like the print house said, doing this with Supercolor is not easy. He's got a video. Check it out. Like I did videos on doing this. He did a video on the Supercolor. And literally, he got it to stick, but it takes a lot of work to get it down there. And it's not like a one and done. It's not one of the first things you ever want to learn to sublimate. So, like I said, these things are super easy. And then like Matt Grinder, he chimed in. Those transfers work great, easy to peel. He had some of the transfers. I sent him some samples. He's got a new one I can't show you guys. I'm going to maybe head over to the shop and run it later today. I got to double check the file on it though. But like the other one, what he did, and it's called, and I can't show you guys, but it's called Knockout, and I can explain what it does. So what you can do is, a lot of work to figure it out. And like the print house said, I mean, it took him a lot of time and effort to figure that out. The nice thing, these things are almost like idiot proof. I mean, there's not much to them. They stick on, but what the Knockout is like, see where I put black on here? What he did is he was printing on a black shirt, or one of the transfers is going on a black shirt. So he removed all the black off of it. So now it's like, yeah, there you go. The print house, or he knocked out the black on the print house, and he's putting it on a black shirt. So it's kind of, this transfer has it, but this one's not the best. This one has Knockout. It's hard to see, like in the skull. It's actually not printed there. But he actually did it on another shirt. Lily, don't get him started. I don't have no donuts, Lily, so I can't do a donut challenge. JDM, his son might be doing a donut challenge soon, or JBM will. I sent him some donuts, so. Yeah, the other crazy thing to print house is like this photo. It's one of them kind of crazy looking things. Sorry, phone's saying weird messages. Let me see if I can find it. Hey Matt, can I just show that the gamer photo, the TIFF file? Is that all right? Or Lily, I need to look for my little favorite guy doing donut challenge and doing more reverse mount graphics. I like posted videos about last on October 12th, YouTube. Okay, so here's the thing, the print house and everyone else on here. This is the photo. And so it looks like it looks kind of weird, like not like, for instance, where the glasses are, where the pews are, where the game controller is. The crazy thing is when you drop this on a black background, what it does, and like this is me zooming in, which this phone not very good, so it's going to show a lot of pixelation and all that. But what it will do is fill in all them areas. For the most part, like I think there was one spot that had white still. But what it does is, like that black in the glasses is not really black. It's like a different shade of gray. And so what happens, it adds the black through the image and then the black with that image. And so the nice thing is like, so for instance, if you rubbed your hand like in these areas, I gotta look where I'm at, right here, like where it's just a shirt, you feel just the shirt. But like some people that would make transfers, they would fill that in with black because they don't want to have a machine weed it all or do all these contour cuts. But with the direct-to-film, you can print that knockout, and then so you don't feel it. So it makes that shirt even that much softer. And it's got gradients on that print. So the gradients do the same thing. So them half-tone dots that you have, it's the print house done many that way. When adhesive is on the face of the sticker. But the nice thing about like that, it will add a lot more, even like the prints are fairly soft, but it adds even more of a softer feel to it when you print them that way. It changes the whole aspect of it because then you feel voids in it, kind of like you do on here. So for one, it has a more traditional screen print feel. And like some people, like for instance, a good example, if I threw this on a black shirt, what's going to happen? You're going to see these black lines on here. So it's not going to be bad, but you're going to see a little reflection on there where I printed black. Now, when you're screen printing, some people would put a highlight black over it or a black in it because there's gradients. Some people would let the shirt do the gradient and not print black. And that's the nice thing with the transfers. You can do it that way also, and it gives it, like I said, a more softer feel and a more unique look or a different look. When I was helping Rye do some of the designs on his stuff, Rye did one of the shirts like that, and it adds more to the feel. It feels, like I said, it gives it a more, what I say, screen printing feel, because like he was doing some numbers on the back of a shirt, and you wouldn't have printed the black on there. But if you were doing cut vinyl like he was originally going to do, he was going to have to leave that spot on there. And so, like I said, it just adds more to that. And like I said, it gives it I wouldn't say softer feel, but it is more soft. It feels more like a traditional screen printed shirt when you print them like that. So like I said, it's another method. It does take a little bit more work on that because you just can't delete everything. You've got to kind of make sure it's done correct through the gradients, because if you just deleted the black channel, sometimes you could run into issues. But if the artwork is done correct, it gives it even a more softer feel. So like I said, that's another thing. Gold dot that you couldn't get, and you can get them to do that on Super Color, but you're gonna have to send the artwork to them. But it's just one of the other features too. Like they don't even tell people, hey, print it that way. Because honestly, I can tell you, if you try to do that with Super Color, the small pixels that you would get, not all of them are going to transfer. Some of them would just peel up with the transfer sheet. Where when you use direct to film, pretty much all them sheets and all them little dots are going to go right on the shirt, as long as the transfer is made correct. So, like I said, that's the other difference. Like I said, you can get more detail in a print, but you can get another effect to it. Like I said, it's more realistic feeling. So it's something else to look at. Yeah, Lily, you'll have to. Do you recommend? Well, it's the 14,000. We don't have that here. We have the 15,000. And it's not bad. I actually suggest, if you're gonna supplement and you don't want to buy like a 570, the EcoTank 15,000 is the 13 by 19 printer that would work into that category. And it's for the price and everything. I mean, they're hard to get a hold of right now. Let me see if they do have a 14,000 over there though. That one has more channels in it. So the only thing about something like that, you want to check the print head. Oh, okay, yeah, I would go. Hey, George Lopez, how's it going? Yeah, like Matt was saying too, the 14,000 might be discontinued. The only place I'm seeing it right now is on like Amazon, but it's not really saying much. But for that price, I would go with the 15,000 personally. It's cheaper than the 14,000. And it will do everything you need and then some. But yeah, like I said, because your other options, you can go with the Eco Tank, like the 8.5 by like, was it 12 or 8.5 by 12, I think it is. They're not too bad. But if you're gonna print anything bigger, you're gonna print socks, you're gonna want like a 13 by 19 print area. And then Mike says 15,000s are hard to find. Can get the 570 for 2,250 right now. She says people are now getting on the 8550s, but I don't want to use a third party ink. Plus, I find it wasteful as this printer can even print on CDs. If it puts sublimation on it, I can use that further. Let me pull up the yeah, I was gonna say you got to use like a third party ink, Mike. That's what she was saying. She wanted to avoid. But the other one does have a double black channel, so technically you could dump the other. What size is the 80? Let me see if I can get a size on it. Because see the 15,000 is going to be it's an all-in-one printer also. Oh yeah, so they're using the black. They're using well, they're actually using on that one. They're using 3 blacks and 1 gray. So they're using. So on that, you'd have to use like a third-party ink. They're using 6 colors, so CMYK, another black and a gray. So technically, you got 3 blacks and a gray. Yeah, you would definitely have to go third-party inks on that. For that, I would honestly I would stick with the 15. The 15,000 is going to be the same price. If you can get the 15,000 over there. Yeah, and I was going to say most people their goal is to move up to the 570. It's just out of most people's price range. And because like see Epson's got the 170, which is their entry level sublimation, and it's 8.5 by 12. The only downside on that is that thing's like $400 for an 8.5 by 12. So you could buy an eco tank for like a lot less, and then go that route. So it'd be saving you a lot more money. If you're wanting the 13 by 19, which most people that will get them into doing like socks and bigger things, you almost got to go the 13 by 19. And on that, like really anything in that price range, if you go to Sawgrass, you're over 1,000 on a 13 by 19. So I would literally probably just stick with converting the Epson ET. Like some of them said too. I mean, you could. The price of a used 1430 nowadays though are so crazy high because the screen printers are using them for transfers or for their exposing films. So like even buying an older printer, converting it, because you're still going to have to buy the continuous ink system. So your best bet honestly would be the EcoTank 15,000. And if you can get one that's like, because the ink, all you're going to buy is the Epson ink, and just don't start it with the ink that comes with it. Literally buy the Epson sublimation ink, unscrew the top, screw the new ones on, and then literally run with it. I have been running mine since I've got it. It's like 1.5 years, 2 years now. I got it when it first came out, pretty much the first month or two, the Eco Tank. I'm on my second set of inks through that thing. Working fine. Occasionally I do have to do a head clean. I had to do a deep head clean the other day, but that printer sat over 2 months. And it cleaned itself out. The print came out perfect. And it was something, like I said, it was one of these, so I knew what it looked like. And so all I did was run the head clean, and you can actually see, maybe you can. I cut the top part off of the report thing, but literally it came out perfect after the head clean. So, I mean, it holds up so far, the time. And like I said, I don't use that every day. People that use them more every day have less time where you got to do head cleans with it. I'm using it like once in a blue moon anymore. But like, I mean, I still go through a bunch of ink because when I print something, I'm going to print a bunch of things with it. Epson is making it hard to convert these printers, so they are going to discontinue a lot of these other printers. Yeah, I was gonna say too. That's the other thing. Like 1430s are all discontinued. Epson has a short runtime on printers, and then it makes it like if you had one and you converted it, like you can maybe have a month out of it, and then something go wrong, and then you can't get Epson doesn't have any more in stock, so they can't replenish you if you have an issue with it. Um, that's why I would go to. But even these new ones, I mean, they're coming out with new stuff all the time, and like that's why they did that whole ink cap thing, because they really don't want people putting other inks in them, even the sublimation ink. Like I said, there are easy ways around it. Just unscrew that cap and use the Epson ink. And like I said, I have found it's been holding up. Like I said, it's whatever how long I've had it. If you go back and watch the videos of it, that's how long I've had that printer, and it's held up better than I've thought. I've had a 1430 that literally it ran less than a month. Brand new 1430 I converted way back in the day, and when the head clogged, it never cycled itself clean, and it ended up being junk. And then I soaked the head after, got it to finally re-clean, and then the head fried right after. So, but this 15,000 has been holding up way better than I ever thought it would. I'm not using some of these other companies' inks. I'm sticking with Epson ink, and so far Epson ink is my Epson ink stuff is expensive, but worth it. Well, see, Lily, it is expensive, but when you break it down per milliliter, it's cheaper than Cosmo. It's cheaper than all these other brands out there. When you break it down per milliliter, the downside is like most of these other companies, you might be getting this much ink, let's say. In the Epson, you're getting this much ink. But when you look at the price, this price is double what this is. So people are like, man, it's pretty expensive. When really, this would take like 4 of these to fill this up. Now, that's not the equivalent on Epson. Epson's is, their one ink is, I forget how many milliliters. I think it's 200 milliliters more, which did make a big... the quality may be better too. No, yeah. That's the other thing too. Epson inks, I mean, they make good stuff. They're the ones that make the print heads. They're the ones that make the stuff. They make the ink for their sublimation stuff. So you're gonna get a good quality product. When you buy some of these third-party stuff, like the inks are coming from China, not Japan or anything. Where Epson ink is made in Japan, it's not made here in the States. But there's a difference on the inks from over there. But you're getting the true Epson ink, and they designed their stuff to work with their own products. Now, granted, hey, have a good night, the print house. Yeah, and like Lily said, like I did a hippo thing a while back, and I don't know if I put it on or not, but I sent, yeah, guys, hit the like button, like the print house said. Guys, go subscribe to the print house if you haven't already. And subscribe to NovaWorks, guys. Hit Goon Life too. Great channels, guys. Help them build their channels and their followers up, guys. You'll find great content. Literally, I talked to the print house a few weeks back, but I've watched his channel forever. He's got great content, and literally he had content that interests me because it was some of the product that I have now. So yeah, check him out, guys. He does great videos. He's very knowledgeable. Mike is very knowledgeable too, NovaWorks. If you got any questions about vinyls or wrapping something, check Mike out. Mike's very knowledgeable on that. Mike wraps a floor a week. I'm not joking on that. Literally, he does floor wraps a lot. And it's probably close to, I know he's going to say it's not one a week, but in my mind, it's about one a week, especially during the wedding season. He's knocking them floors out left and right. But he wraps cars. He wrapped a Camaro recently. He does a lot of wrapping. He's got 2 turntables and a microphone, but no. But yeah, check Nova Workout. Check the print house out. Goon Life just dropped some videos today. They're very good. The second video had a little bit more Spanish, so I got to freshen up on my Spanish a little bit. But check him out also, guys. Check Vega out. Vega 23. Vega is killing it, man. Vega does some awesome stuff. But yeah, guys, check everyone out. I mean, there's some great things. Averaging 1.3 floors a week. I knew it was a lot. And like, guys, I mean, he's done videos on them. These floors are amazing, and he explains how it's done, so that if you eventually get into wrapping a floor, you're not spending 10 years being there way past the hours. Now, granted, hey, what's up, Mike? How's it going, guys? Follow United Federation of Nerds. That's Mike the Entrepreneur. He changed his name. He ended up getting rid of the 1, so I went with the he had a 370, which is the was it 1 liter or 3 liters of ink? I think it's 3 liters it has in the but yeah, I got the my mind is blank right now. I got the HP 370, and then I got the Sumo. Hey, Christian, how's it going? Yeah, I picked them up, Mike, and I gotta get the power hooked up. That's the only downside, because they take two 220 plugs, and I'm not putting them in my shop because we're rebuilding the new one, and I don't want to pull wire there and then just be out of there. So I've got them sitting here now, but my console here, I've got a 200 amp system. And there's stuff I could reroute around all that. Like, I've got a kitchen upstairs, kitchen downstairs. Yeah, that's my issue, is like I'm my 200 amp system is literally, I don't have no open breaker, so I'm gonna have to have them split that console so I can run more. So it's just a matter of getting that done. But depending on how that goes, I mean, I might wire it up in the other shop out there. That's got its own box. It's just me finding time to do that, though. Who has 3D printers that can recommend for newbies? Depends on what kind of 3D printer you want, Lily. I just bought an Anycube, but it won't even be shipped till January. It's a DLP printer. It's to make jewelry, some bling bling. But you have like the filament 3D printers. If you want to know a lot, Lily, about 3D printers, check out the Print House. The Print House does a lot of 3D printing. He doesn't have them covered in his videos, but he does quite a bit. But check that out. Like I said, I don't know much about a lot about the 3D print. I just know making 3D objects and some other stuff. And the one I went with was, I just had a purpose that I needed it for, so. Some snap covers. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to try to have him on next week. The Print House. Try to spent the day rearranging the shop. Only took me 4 hours. I think I gained about 4 square feet. That's a square foot an hour, though, Christian. Christian, keep your eye out. I sent you that stuff off. you're in Texas. The thing is, the post office changed how their shipping time, how they're doing their priority mail stuff. So I don't want to give you an official date. I mean, it should be there maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, the latest. But Waldo, did you send the sample? Yeah, I sent it off, Christian. Yeah, but just keep an eye out on it because, like I said, I don't control their new shipping policy. I know I've been getting tagged like on my shipping pro that I use, and it has not slowed down from what I've been seeing. But I just know when I watched my local news, they talk with the postmaster and all that. They said the priority is going to be slowed down like a day or two more. So I'm hoping it doesn't affect a lot of shipping, but just keep an eye out on it. So, and like I said, I sent you both thicknesses. Let me grab one. I'll show you. Waldo, you seen Pirate Ship added UPS? Yeah, I've used Pirate Ship before. What's crazy? There's one other company that they messaged me this week, and they were prices were really good, and then I had to send them like my whole shipping for the last month or two. But so far, Sempro has been the cheapest because Sempro has UPS, FedEx, Postal Service, and then they also have local shipping also. So like I can have literally someone will, I guess you call it carriers or day carriers. But literally that's an option too. So if someone's within, I forget the mileage it says on there, I can literally have them commute it for me. But I used to use Insidia, which Insidia got bought out by Stamps, but they still had their price compared to the Stamps price. They were good on some things, but SendPro literally has been the thing where I see the huge saving on SendPro is like, for instance, I have a UPS account and then I have my SendPro UPS account. And the crazy thing is, and then I have my FedEx tied in with it. I already have a good rate on FedEx, but I could check what was the company. It's called SendPro by Pitney Bowes. But the crazy thing is you get their rate. So since they've got so many people, and that's that other one, I'll have to find the name of it, Mike, that they sent me the other email the other day. But what it is they add everyone in a group. And so that's how they get their rates. So the crazy thing is like I had a UPS rep come out to my building the other day, and he was like, "Hey, why haven't you used your normal account? We see you're still doing sales, but." He was like, what can we do? And I was like, what can you match these prices? And I showed him what I'm paying on my SendPro, and I gave him all my information. I let him look at everything, what we're shipping, sizes, quantity, boxes, because they do ship with Postal Service also. They have a contract with them. The only thing he could do, it ended up saving me per package on the Postal Service. It was like 5 or 10 cents, which depending on how many you ship, that could be worth it. But the big savings were on like he couldn't touch SendPro's price on the packaging. He was like, I would have to be shipping 10 times more to even come close to them prices. I do like Pirate Ship, has no monthly rates, etc. We don't ship a ton. Yeah, well, see, that's the other thing too. SendPro, they've got one that's it's super cheap because the other company that offered me the deals, the downside, what their monthly rate, and it averages on how much you ship, but it was almost $50 a month. And so this new guy, he's like, hey, we can beat a lot of these prices, but he's still running the numbers and going to get a spreadsheet back for me this week. I really don't think it's going to be that great because the whole point of $50 pretty much I'm spending 50 right up front before I see any savings. And so let's say, like you just said, Mike, where you don't ship a ton, it could be a month where, let's say, I had a lesser shipping time than I normally do, and I might not see the difference. So I told him to do a 3 months analysis on it for me and put it in a spreadsheet and show me how much I'm saving with the fees factored in. And so hopefully I'll get it this week. It was great having you, Wool.com. Yeah, I forgot you're at 2 a.m. over there. So thank you for stopping in. Message me anytime you got any questions or need printer questions, or if you want more info on the direct to film and all that stuff. Go down and I will try to help you out, let you know anything I can. Thank you so much. Yeah, Mike, one question, Mike, can you send me it with, because it had a transparent background, but it had the background of the transparency. So it had the mesh in the background. Can you send me it just the image? And so I can work with that, Mike. Here's what I was going to show you, Christian. These are the two thicknesses. Let me try to get it to focus, get my face out of it. There you go. Now the thing, face is going to. And so, and the calipers are somewhere else. But you can see, like, now the thing is how thin this one is. And it looks thicker up close. But the thing with that, though, these will actually press down to that when it's all said and done. And then, like I said, some of it, too, is the way the fiber is woven. Lily says, I still haven't done anything with them. You should, Lily. I was talking to Christian because he's got a customer that's wanting to buy quite a few. And so we were explaining it to him. But here's the thickness, Christian. Be back in a bit. All right, Mike. Which size should I print the images on? Depends on how big you want the air freshener, Lily. Trees are about 4 inches. But you can also vary them. Like when we did the bananas and pickles, literally we did them about that size. A little bit smaller, actually. Just because no one wanted a big pickle hanging in their front windshield, apparently. But you can print them, like if you're doing just rectangles, the best thing, and I'll tell you the exact size, because here's what I'm going to actually do. Air freshener blank size. Okay, this one's saying a rectangle of 2.75, so 2 3/4 by 4 inches. This one is saying they go 3.6875 by 2.6875. Pickles are delicious. Why not? I know, Lily. I don't understand it. So you got you get like 6 or 8 per sheet. Yeah, Mike. That's the thing is like, so you can get more on there if you run them depending what size you're putting them. And then like here's the crazy thing, like most of these, because they're all starting with a rectangle sheet and having them cut. So let me find trying to find some. Any other time my phone is lit up with air freshener blank, people. See, because that's like this. It's saying package dimensions, but it's not giving me individual. Let me. See, they're fitting 8 on a sheet. If that helps you, Lily. My face is in the way, so I ain't going to focus. There we go. They're fitting 8 on a sheet, which they're charging $36. Well, it's a crazy price. What does it cost per sheet? I will have to check my site, Mike. Because I don't remember my own price. Christian does. I think he said it's like, what is it, 2 something a sheet, Christian? This is crazy. No one, I'm even on Etsy and no one's got their sizes listed. Any other time I used to know the size literally off the top of my head, what people were doing them in. That's just crazy. No one is posting. Let me try it this way. Air fresheners measure 3.75 inches. I don't want to log into your store. 3.75 inches in height by 3 inches wide. So you could make them even a little bit narrower. Like I said, some people are cutting them 4, some are doing 3.75. It kind of just varies. Like I said, these ones are doing the 3.75 by 3. But it's kind of, that's what they're going into, Lily, right around that 3 3/4 by 4 inches, and then just kind of filling them. Hey, Pam, how's it going? Tell him happy birthday for me, Pam. Yeah, I'm just doing a quick little up to date thing and kind of filling people in on just a bunch of different stuff. And trying to keep an eye on the Michigan football game. Michigan State won earlier. Michigan's playing right now, so. So how many people do? Hey, Jimmy, how's it going? You didn't miss much, Jimmy. Not too much going on. Just covering. We were covering. Some people asked about air fresheners, so we were explaining air fresheners and a few different things of like sizing and all that, and best ones, awesome fragrances like the banana or the dill pickle. Can't go wrong. And then we were explaining, we had someone on here from England. And so we were explaining some stuff on sublimation and all that. Sorry, guys, I didn't drop the videos. I had them all edited, and I thought I had them set on a time thing to come out throughout the week. And apparently I didn't run it that way. And it's been hectic. I mean, it's been a good hectic, but I've just been busy running a bunch of things. Hey, what's up, Oscar? How's it going? Your office looks like mine right now. Yeah, it's I got stuff everywhere, and then like I might clean it somewhat up, but like I keep bringing more stuff in that I don't want to sit at the other area, and I'm working on other things, so it's like, hey, my battery's charged finally. Awesome. But yeah, it's like I get one thing straightened up and then 20 other things just pop up and I got to work on them. So it's kind of keeps me busy, but it makes it hard too because there's only so much time in a day. And so I usually I 1 to 2 days a week, I'll try to sleep into about 8 o'clock. But normally I'm up at 5 and I usually don't go to bed till after midnight. I'm just working on everything, but my room has boxes everywhere since my new Cricut and mug press came in. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like there's boxes upon boxes, and then like the downside where I ship stuff anyways, I have boxes for that, and then I have boxes kind of like you said, like the thing is like some boxes you hate to throw away. Like I've got a crate underneath there for when I had the did the UV printer, and it's a wood crate. I could care less. Like it's not like, oh, I need the wood crate to store things in, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with that printer anymore. So it's just sitting that. Well, it's sitting on the shelf. I do the head clean and blah blah blah. But like if I got to move it or ship it, you need the crate to put it in. And then like the biggest thing too, it's in the other room, Mike. It's just sitting there. I've had so many people ask about it. The big thing that my problem is like where they use I can't think of the RIP software. Was it Accurate? Not like that one's got like Accurate 9, I think it is. And they're up to like 10.3. Well, the problem is 9, you have to undo everything on your computer, but you have to restart all these things every time. And to me, it's too annoying for me to do. And I could buy the 10, and I have seen people on Facebook Marketplace on it for like $250. But in general, without me buying it off the marketplace, it's about $500. And I just don't want to drop $500 when I really don't have a use for that printer much right now. So I got it honestly to do videos and to do some other things. Oscar, I've been trying to get the designs I told you and send you. Hope this Monday I'll send you a PNG. Okay, Oscar, that will work. Like I said, I'm just shoot me an email. You got my email, Oscar. Shoot me the email, and we will get it taken care of, Oscar. Like I said, that's the other thing too. Like it's been hectic. Mike says you used the RIP with it. Yeah, Mike, I used I think it's the Accurate that came with it. And the problem is the older one. For one, more than I mean, it's got a dongle and all that, but more than likely, like the older one they changed. Like the new one, you need the dongle plugged in, but you don't have to do all these settings and reprogram it every time. Like literally, if I turn my firewall, because you got to turn every firewall off on that thing. If I turn them all off, every time I turn them back on, it wipes out all your settings on the Accurate. And so I don't mind that, but I don't want to sit there and go through and reset everything, reset the measurements of the platen every time, reset the color profiles on it. And I could get the newer one, but they don't, you still got to buy it. They don't have like an upgraded thing for paying for it. You still got to buy the new one. And like I said, there are people on like the Facebook groups and the screen printing sites that people that got rid of it and they went to other rip softwares. They're selling it for like as low as $250. But my thing is like I've got all these other rips for all these other programs. I've got Main Top Rip 6 here. I've got all the different rips. And I don't want to keep buying more rips, especially, and some of them won't work. I think I lost signal with my antenna. But some of them would work on other ones. Some of them won't. But at the end of the day, I don't want to sit there and try to mess with it without it being like a simple rip software, because they're old one I used to use on shirts. Yeah, Mike, you have to use a rip with it because it's got to invert it doesn't have to invert it, but you have to have the white lay down first. So it's got a little thing where it does that. But yeah, you have to have a rip with it. So that's the kind of the downside. And like I said, if I was using it, I would just upgrade to the other one. But I don't really use it, so I don't want to upgrade to the other software when I'm not going to use it much anyways. The color profile, some of it is like I think too, like where like here's the UV cleaner that's been sitting here. You've got to adjust the color profile on it, and okay, sorry, my screen keeps glitching out. But you have to adjust that color profile. And then so to me, it's a little nuisance, and it's hard to get it dialed in correct. So I'm just not keen on it. If I was using it every day, it might be better, but I don't. So, hey, can someone let me know if everything's working fine? Because my screen keeps glitching, but I'm not seeing any signals dropped or anything on the other end. I purchased the 7-in-1 from Heat Transfer Warehouse. It's a purple one. I got on financing with a firm. My Cricket 2 caused me dog tripped over the cord. Oh, my circuit 2 caused me dog tripped over the cord of my older one. Yeah, it's not. You got to watch out, Lily. Yeah, because when something happens, then I've had many things. Like I've tripped over my own cord and knocked other things over and destroyed a bunch of equipment from just me not paying attention or how I'm sitting it. Matt says, need another computer just for rip only. Use it on your network. Yeah, Matt, and that's the thing is like, because that other one, like if I wasn't having other stuff on it, I wouldn't worry. But like, and it's not like I'm worried about someone hacking me. I'm out in the middle of nowhere, but internet hacks aren't. It's all online. But if it was offline, that computer, find it, but it's not, and that's why I don't like using their Accurate software. So like I said, if it wasn't for that, I would probably use that the UV printer more. But the other thing too is like, for instance, like with the ink, there like you have to use the ink that works with the Epson print head, and there are different ones that like say they're compatible and they're not. And the only ink that I was finding, that I ended up buying, it works, but you have two different kind of UV inks. You have one that has a flexor in it and one that doesn't. And so like when I printed on tape, I could literally peel it off the tape and it would like move, but it wouldn't bite into the tape good enough so I could roll the tape around, kind of like a piece of paper or anything. It literally just lifted off, and the whole thing lifted off in one pattern. So the ink bonded together, but it didn't bite into that. Now, when I printed onto like metals and all the other stuff, it worked perfect. It bonded right to them. But some of the other ones, like if you use like Mamaki and all that, you're using a treatment on the metal or the other surface, and it helps it bite into it better. It bit into the metal and then the other stuff, but I wasn't totally satisfied how good it was. Like, I mean, I couldn't scratch it with my finger, but I could take sharp things and scrape it off. Hey, Texas Finest, how's it going? Matt Grinder says, I could use it, send it to me. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Like I said, I mean, my biggest thing is finding time to sit down and dial everything in. And it just, with everything else that I'm running, it makes it hard. Thanks so much, Frankie. Yeah, normally what happens though, Frankie, people either will be able to fit the kids or they fit into the large. I've never really had a need for the medium or a size in between. How much did it cost you totally if I tried to replicate it? Replicate what, Lily? Tried to replicate what? Like if you tried to replicate, like you could make um because they also make the direct to garment printers. Oh, the printer. Um, you can buy the direct to garment ones and like it's kind of like where people are converting the direct to film printers because this company, that's what they do. The biggest thing is I'm going to order more black trim mask. Them are the ones that they're a little bit more forgiving on the print, Frankie, because you can be, as long as you cover the black area, you're fine. But what I was saying, Lily, like people are converting the printers, but on that where um oh, okay, so DTF, okay, that's what I was saying. So like to convert a DTF printer, the inks you've got to be able to take a printer apart. The biggest thing is though with DTF, this I've talked to so many people about, like the what's her name? You dig. She's converted them and all that. And the problem is like people run into, for instance, the waste ink thing because they go through a lot of ink. So you got to put a waste ink thing on there, or it overflows and fries the board. That's what she had happen. Um, but the but the thing about the direct to film, there's a few things like the smaller ones you can convert if depending on how much you pick the printer up for, because you need a 6-channel printer or a 5-channel, which I don't really think they make 5 channels. It's usually 6, 2 white. Some will go 4 white, CMYK. So 4 and 2. So what do you think's better, direct to garment or screen printing? I've done direct to garment when it first started, probably 15 years ago. The speed of direct to garments are, unless you've got multiple ones, or if you got a Cornete, something like that. But a Cornete's a $250,000 machine almost. Their high end one. So unless you have that, now the new Epson, the double platinum Epson is, I think it's 70,000, maybe 60 or 70,000. That one flies. But the downside too is the cost of ink on them things. Which they're I like the prints on it. Like you can do high detailed stuff. Like I said, like a good example, like you can do this image here. You can screen print this, but you're gonna have the halftone dots. They both have got markets for them. Like cost wise, if I'm doing, let's say, like where we print for a lot of these other companies, on a big shirt order, here you go, Frankie. Here's a mask. So like on a big shirt order, screen printing is going to destroy direct to garment on price, because ink, you're talking pennies, like something like this right here. This is pennies of ink. Where if you were doing direct to film or direct to garment on it or film, you're still going to be 50 cents of the ink up to $2, depending on what process you're doing. Because pre-treatment cost, direct to film, you don't have pre-treatment. You're using the powder. So it kind of, the price varies there. But the other thing too is, like I said, you can get, if you're doing like small runs, if you're doing shirt job fulfillments, direct to garment. If you're doing here's another one, Frankie. He did loads for actually a thing. But like now here's the thing, like Frankie brought up the FreeJet 330 TX Plus does direct to garment, and the other one, and it is 100% true. That one does that. But if you ever watch, here's the tumblers that he did with them also, Frankie. But like the thing with I'm gonna make Halloween masks too. Yeah, but like that's what I was saying, Frankie, is the speed of a free jet. He's limited. Like if he does a full 13 by 19 print, like have him fill out which for one, he can't do 13 by 19 on free jets. They can't print that big. Hey Connie, how's it going? Keep an eye out, Connie. I sent that sample out, and it didn't go out till about midweek. Sorry about that. I think it was you, Connie, I sent it to. Someone asked for a sample last week during the live, and everyone that emailed, I sent some samples to. But the speed of the T-Jet, like and it does 17 on his paper is the max, Frankie. But even at 13 by 17, the 13 by 17, for him to fill that out, at best, he can probably do 10 to 15 an hour. So the problem is, if you can only do 15 an hour, and I'm going to be generous and say 15, filling that whole sheet up, like if it was one print, kind of like the Halloween ones you bought, the downside, he has to charge a lot more. So like, yeah, he is charging. How much did you have to pay for the prints, Frankie? What was it? $8 a print. So if you're paying $8, then you can run that machine at that. That's 8 times 15, 40. So $120 an hour. No, that was for the you paid more than $3 for the you paid $3 for the sublimation ones, right? How much did you pay for the direct to films? Because I thought direct to films were higher on his site. you can get crazy deals with direct to garment or direct to films. Yeah, and that's what I was getting at, because like if you go, yeah, thanks, Lily. I was gonna say I knew they were that high, Lily. I was gonna say the best I've seen it was like I thought he had them on a sale for $8. Man, them masks are pretty psychedelic there. Here's some more tumblers and masks that Matt did. It's pretty wicked looking. And so at the $10 is even easier. So that's $150 an hour he makes. Not bad, but you got to factor in the cost of the paper and all that. That is the max that machine can ever put out an hour, and more than likely he's not going to get them numbers out constantly. But like in general, like direct to film now, on the other hand, like if you have like a machine that only does direct to film, this print is about, it will print 24 inches wide with these on here running vertical. So I can fit, give me a second, it's 5 inches. So we'll put 4 on there because there's 4 inches floating there. So with the gap, so I can do, them are about 3 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes, depending on what I set my image up to. So I can do 5 of these, and we'll be generous and even add more time. We'll say 5 minutes. So I can knock 5 of these out in 5 minutes, that big a print area. So, and I mean, like I said, it's actually a lot quicker. But that's the difference, is like literally, so what he could do in that hour, I can knock out in about 10 minutes on the speed. That's where like someone that has a direct to film machine, you can do a lot lower pricing, where he's locked in, he's buying high, like his paper price, he's buying from I can't remember. I know the name, and it's just stuck in my head, but he's buying the paper from a set place. So they're charging him a set amount for the paper. So he's locked in. He's paying a pretty high price. I'm buying my paper by the roll, which is little to nothing by the roll. I'm buying my inks like I showed you guys in the liters. He's buying ink a lot less. His ink cost literally what he pays for all his, or what I pay. Let me try to think how to phrase this. The cost of not even one of his inks, I'm buying an insane amount more. It's just one of the things that it's a cost analysis on it. So like to make it cost effective, you gotta have a printer that, if you want direct to film, it's only for direct to film. Now, like what Lily was saying too, like if you can convert one, Lily, let me read some of these real quick too. The XL double mask are awesome. The large seems more like a medium. Yeah, I was gonna say, to me, I wear the XL mask. Like the XL, Lily, I don't have a measure. Well, here we go. We went over this last week. This is a Yupong Classic. So if you ever embroidered on Yupongs or whatever, I got 3 snaps left on this Yupong, and that tells you kind of how big my face is. So it gives you an idea on the width. The printable area is not much different. The only difference is in the strap length. There is a difference on the medium and the large, not a lot. The kids are super small. Ladies tend to wear the larges, and males would wear the extra large. But there are people, like a good example, like George Lopez was on here earlier. George always buys larges. So the people that George is dealing with tend to be, their face fits the largest. He's in Texas, so I don't know all the people he sells to, but they all go with the largest. I've sent him, I think, one time extra larges, and he ended up just going back to larges. I'm gonna need some Christmas DTF prints in bulk. Who would you suggest? Hopefully, Lily. We talked about on my live last week. I'm setting up so that I'll eventually be able to take orders. My machine's running fine. I just got to get my website where I can take prints and do them that way. Waldo, can you put on a mask so we can see how they fit? Yeah, let me. I know I got some bulk ones sitting around here. Hang on. All right, so here we go. Here you go, Connie. This is a large. These are single layers. Just because the doubles are pushed way back, and these are ones I have sitting on that table. But I normally, when if I wear a mask, I wear these single layers anyways. But and then when you print them, this one's kind of dirty because it's one I had on the table. But I'll show you. There's two different sides. There's this side, and then there's this side. The smooth side, the jersey side that looks like a jersey mesh, which when that goes towards your face, the other side is the outside. It's the smoother side. But so that's how the side goes. This one is a large, and I can wear it, but it's a little snug. And this is like you can see my mouth. And then as you see, like my glasses fog up when I talk. This is an extra large. This one I just happen to have is a white one. It's a lot more. It looks like it's touching here, but if you look, like here's, it's a lot more loose right in here. The center areas are almost like width-wise, they're pretty much, it's hard to get it lined up. The width-wise is the same. Where the difference is in the straps. They're actually, it's not going to show that good, but it is almost a quarter inch or longer on the strap length. Hey, Mike, I got it. Do masks still sell good with the market being saturated? The crazy thing, Mike, here it's weird because we had a dip about a month to 2 months ago, and it slowed up, and then ever since then it's not been like it was when it first hit, but it's picked back up where where the sorry, Mike. Trying to read. I think I just sent you them, Lily. But the mask, Mike, it's crazy because like this week alone, the end of the last week, and then I got orders this weekend also. But last week alone, I shipped over 500 masks out. So it's kind of crazy because like the schools where I'm at, the state can't mandate it anymore because the Supreme Court in our state shot it down. But schools are allowed to mandate it. So the governor can't mandate it, but schools can. And schools, a lot of them are mandating them. And then there are other states that have it mandated, like California, I believe, still does. So we're shipping a lot out to Cali, and then we're up in New York. They're mandating a lot of things. You got to have them. So places like that are mandating them. Yeah, Connie, I have the website. I don't know how accurate it is. We do have them, and we do have them also coming in every. Like I still order masks from my vendor. We lowered the price of about a month ago because what it was is literally. I'm like I was talking to some other people. We had stock, and when I mean stock, like I was keeping 1,000 of every style mask. And that's why it made it hard to, like, for instance, like these are single layers. Now these are no good. I'll use them for mock-ups for me, and I'll just pitch them in my car. So when I go anywhere, I'll put something on them. I'll probably print them tomorrow. But yeah, so what it was is we had like thousands ordered of, and the downside is I've got single layers and I've got double layers, and then I've got the black trim and the white trim. So with the mask, literally that is 12 different masks that I carry in stock. So what it was is some of them were slower movers than others. Instead of me just being like, hey, let's run a sale only on, let's say, the kid size or whatever, we lowered the price on all of them just to kind of thin it down a little bit, because when we did that, that's when it looked like the market was slowing up a little bit. And I said, hey, let's thin it down so that we're not stuck when this all ends. I didn't want to get stuck with thousands of masks. So we lowered the price. And then literally even before that though, like we lowered it, but the market was already picking back up. That slow time was, we didn't have, the sales didn't pick up when we lowered the price. But we left it down there since, just for the simple fact that, like for instance, our schools required it, and they weren't buying as many per se, but then they would come to me and they'd be like, well, hey, can you do some deals on it? So what we ended up doing is just saying, hey, we'll lower the price. Well, then they picked up and bought even more because we lowered the price. So we just decided to leave it that way for a little while longer. For one, it helps my vendor over that sews them for me, because he was slowing up in other areas, like he sells to other countries, and not everyone was mandating it. So I was like, hey, it keeps him busy. It brings me money. It's not much that's left on there's not much green left on. There's only a few cobs on the kernel left, but it's fine with me. So we left our prices down. Depending on, I mean, we might go back up, not this week, but maybe next month, whatever. Just depends on how it looks. But my thing is just pass the sales on to everyone else, and I'm fine. We sell loads of other stuff. We sell the tumblers, the masks. So to me, it's like pennies make dollars. So I don't need to get rich off of one item. I'd rather pass it on to other people so that more people can do it. Like I said, a good example, like George Lopez, he ordered yesterday. He ordered 100 and something masks. So that helped him a bunch because it was, I forget how much lower we lowered them from what they used to be. I think they were $1.75. So he saved 50 cents on 100. So yeah, that's 50 bucks he saved. on that order. So like I said, it does add up big time for the people that are buying them. But to me, it's like it's worth it because he was able to also too. He's seen the price. You're able to negotiate the groups that, like schools, for instance, like they've been buying them so much that they don't want to pay high premiums. So uh, by lowering it, like I said, it kind of makes it where it's easier to do it that way. Yeah, Jimmy, like we have them, and like I was saying too, Connie, if we don't have it in stock, you're most of them you are able to order on back order. And when you do that, like I said, we get pinged on it, and it just we set your order aside. We'll send a lot of times what the order is, most of it out. But once the order gets in, we usually get them in about Tuesdays and Thursdays on average when they come here. So it's only like a week or two longer on the orders. Ahmad, Waldo, my boy, I'm still trying to get better at screen printing. When are you coming down to Nashville to show me how to get off the contact right? You know what's crazy, Ahmad? I was down there last weekend and the weekend before, just in other areas, doing other stuff. Shoot me a thing, Ahmad, because you got my email with your contact info and all that. And next time I'm down, I will try to meet up. I know I've got to try to meet Marnie up one of the times too. But shoot me that, and I will try to help you. I'll try to come by and help set it up, get you set up and running. Like I said, I definitely don't mind. Like I said, I'm not I'm not there all the time. It's hit and miss because like a lot of my vendors, like my screen supply stuff and all that, they're there. And then my like Grimco's down there that I get all my sign stuff from. But a lot of them too, I'm on a shipping thing with them. So what happens is I don't have to drive down there. I get free shipping from them, and it's not that I don't want to drive down there. It's only 45 minutes. But it's you add that up there and back and all that. It's about 2 hours of my day lost. Where if I go with just having them bring it up to me, it comes on a Tuesday. My Grimco order does, and I'm good to go. I don't have to do nothing. I just literally unload it. I didn't have to pay anything extra. Uh, and then like the price of gas going up so much, I drive a little bit bigger vehicle and it chugs a little bit of gas. So it saves me a bunch just having them ship it to me. So I don't usually go down there unless I'm doing stuff or, I mean, hockey's back in town. They just started playing again. So, I mean, I'll be down there a little bit. Like I said, it's just hit and miss though. But like I said, hit me up. Yeah, hit me up and I'll definitely come down and try to help you out. Like I said, I definitely don't mind. Like I said, just send me the info. Though you got like my Gmail's at the bottom of not the bananas and pickles, but my Gmail. It's Waldo2413 at gmail.com. Just hit me up on there, and like I said, I'll definitely try to get you set up and send me some photos of what it looks like on the prints too, and what it's kind of doing and what you're doing, so I can kind of have a little idea of how to fix it when I get there. Yeah, like Matt saying, Ahmad, like the easiest thing, you want it almost a touch. If and most people are going to be using a rear clamp, the easiest thing to do is take a quarter and tape it to the front of the frame where it's touching on the platen still. And for the most part, that will get you right where you need to be. And then if you're worried about it, like because some of them you can adjust the angle and all that. If you're worried, put a quarter on the front and back. You can adjust it a little bit more. I mean, once you print, you'll understand. Like for instance, if you're doing hoodies and all that, don't start with hoodies. Hoodies are the worst thing to print if you haven't printed. Um, they're not fun as a first thing because they can move easy. You got to use different spray, different tacks, and all that stuff. My best way to keep the cost down is to learn contact, buy sheets and blanks from thrift stores and practice. Yeah, that's the thing too. Like the other thing, like Mike said, United Federation of Nerds. One of the crazy things is like when I bought out that print shop, I've got all them huge 8X shirts, so they work great. But I will have to try to find the vendor. I used to get cases of shirts from them, and literally what it would cost me is 15 cents a shirt. What it was is their shirts that had defects in them. So one arm sleeve might be longer than the other. The neck might be shifted over, which it's like he said, it's almost like buying it from the thrift store. Literally, we were paying like 15 cents a shirt for blanks. They're random blanks or they're just defects. But what it is the thing when you use a platen, or not the platen, but the well, it is a little like when you use the Pellons. There you go. Sorry about that. When you use them Pellons, you're still about 15 cents, but the Pellon, if you flash it, it shrinks. So then you can't even do your registration with them. Now, what you have to do is you can tape them. Everyone tapes them, but then you're running loads of tape, just maybe to line up a two-color thing. When you use like junk shirts, like them 8X shirts, man, I could put them on there and run 20 prints on them, flip them things inside out because you're only using it in certain areas. So like you could run 3 or 4 on the front because you're not lining it up to make sure the shirt's lined up per se, as long as you've got your registration on your platen. You're printing all them things just to make sure the ink's coming through. There's no pinholes and everything else. The off contact's right. So by using the junk ones, literally you print it, you've got a shirt that's going to work. So like on this, you could print this on white, you're not going to have a problem. But if this had, let's say you had white right here, then you wouldn't want to print this on a white shirt. So with using them junk shirts, you just grab like a dark color shirt, make sure everything's lined up. Like on here, a good example with this having that purple. If I was testing this, I would probably have put this on like maybe a yellow shirt or even a white shirt, for the simple fact that these colors, like this purple looks awesome on the shirt, but purple on black, it's harder to see pinholes. So it's not bad, but you might have ran this whole load of shirts and be like, hey, there's a pinhole, let's say right here or whatever. So then you got to go blast them all out. Where if you put it on a color where your eye can pick it up quicker, it's a lot easier. And like I said, some of it's not as critical, like the pinholes you might not know. But like I said, depending on, and like you might not have that option, but that's the thing when you use junk shirts. So you might be like, oh, I can have this one. We'll flip it inside out and print it on there and then get it to test. Because like I said, usually too, if the screen wasn't burnt good, if it wasn't clean good, you're going to get pinholes. Well, you can tape them up. So by doing test prints, you'll find that out really quick and easy. I have one of those shirts. I have sample shirts with tons of space for days. Yeah, I was going to say, them shirts are massive. Like Lily and all them got it. Like you can put blanks on them forever. You can wear them as nightgowns. I mean, they're massive. But like the other thing too, like I said, thrift stores, like Mike was saying, buy them from thrift stores. Buy shirts for like 5 and 10 cents and just print on them. It's hard to get blank shirts at thrift stores that don't have nothing. And if I can get that contact at a company, we used to order before I bought that other shop out. We would buy them blanks from them. And when we did that, it made it a lot easier. Yeah, then Matt said, are you pulling or pushing, Ahmad? Ahmad, so I was doing the white ink on a black t-shirt, 100% cotton next level. Yeah, so you're using a high dollar shirt to test on, which it's not bad if you've got it down pat, but if it's off, then you're going to lose. Like you just $5 when I hit it. The first one hit of white. Used the flash dryer. Flash came back. Second hit and it moved. Okay, the other thing too, man, are you using palette tape? Or are you using, like, because you want to use either palette tape, the palette glue. You can use spray adhesive. You want to have that shirt sprayed, and not the shirt, but the platen, because you want that shirt to hold and not move. The other thing, okay, so it's a 100% cotton next level. I was going to say some of the next levels, like the tri-blends, they're hard to get to stick on some of the different glues. They just tend to not like that glue, and they can move easy. So that's the other thing. Pushing, try pulling also, man. Like, I'll say this, I get more, and it's a personal choice. I'm a bigger person, but anyone that does print a bunch, they will tell you get more control when you can pull of the ink, how much you're depositing it, than if you're pushing. Pushing's good to start if you're a smaller person, if you're not as tall, because you don't get as much leverage. You get more weight behind it when you push. You get more control when you're pulling. Your hands are going to be a lot sorer when you're pulling. And then, like I said, that can. And then the other thing too, don't mix it up. Don't pull one and then push the other. If you do one on one, like let's say that when I print it the first time I pushed, I flash it, bring it back around. Don't pull that next one, because then you're going to blur that whole image, and it's going to cause a lot of off registration and all that, and can cause it to move. The other thing too to look at is your screen tension. What will happen when your screen's brand new? You're going to push down, and it's going to roll and then pop back up. When a stencil or when a screen's old, it tends to stay down, but then you start dragging the screen, and then so when it pops up, now it's offline. So you want to make sure you got a good tension screen. Yeah, and like Matt's saying, don't get stencil drag, because the other thing too, like when it's from the stencil drag too, like when you push, you can actually push more force and buckle that mesh just a little bit as you're going if you're not careful. And like I said, if it's an older screen, you're going to see it a lot more compared to a newer screen. And like I said, the mesh tension's a big thing. I know most people aren't going to go get a Newton meter to check the screen tension because they're pretty pricey. But they do help out a bunch on that, like if to determine if the screen's still good or not. But 1 second, let me see if I got a screen in there. Okay, so now I got a screen to show you. Okay, now this screen is a retensionable screen. It's a Newman roller screen. But a few things. For one, the screen is destroyed. It's no good, but they do the corners because they don't tension it good. So you can see here, so if I had an image here, I'm not going to be able to press it. But this screen is going to pop. It's already ripped all down the side here, as you can see. So when I push, like over here, this is really taut. Sorry for flipping everyone off. The tension's really good because it's a retensionable screen. So I've tensioned this a bunch. But what's crazy, because I've ran Newton meters on this, when I have it over here, you can see the tension is almost half of what it was over here. And the reason is this whole screen is popped. So like right here, and you can hear it. And it's hard to see the fibers in here, but you can see the wave right, and then right here there's bumps. You hear my finger? I'm dragging straight up and down the screen. Them bump noises that you hear, and they're like right here, there's no tension, which is right where this mesh is broke. So all the way across in here, there's no tension on that screen. And so if I'm screen printing this, what happens when it gets in them areas, it's going to drag lower and push more. The other screen's going to be really taut, it's going to pop up, and that's going to drag. That can cause issues. Now, like I said, this is a roller screen. This is very high tension on it, but it's bad. So like I said, in these areas where it already popped through, like right here, like I said, you can see me how easy it is to push right here, and you can see my thumb dipping in as it goes through there. And like I said, and that's carrying all the way out to here. There's a pocket right into this area where that screen is bad. Hey, Denise, how's it going? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, this screen is junk. That's why, like I said, I knew I had one sitting in there, and if I was doing, and honestly, like this screen got busted. That's why it's not even coated. But like, if I was printing something maybe right here and only right here, I might just put emulsion over this if this is the only screen I had. But it's pretty bad. There's pinholes all the way through here, like where the mesh has already got holes in it. You can see all this extra emulsion right here. That's holding the screen together. Them are actually bigger holes. And if you guys can't see, but like I've got these high intensity lights over here, and you can see it's turning my face yellow. But when I hold it up and look through there, I can see so many bigger holes where that screen is destroyed. But like some people, Waldo, why does it happen only with white when I use white ink though? Here's the thing with that. White ink is a lot more viscous. So when a good example, and well, it's not really a good example. This is like the black ink. See how fluid it is? It moves easy. This is like white ink. It doesn't flow, it jiggles. It's thicker. So it's kind of like a good example. The black ink versus peanut butter. Peanut butter is a lot thicker. Now you can thin it down a little bit. Yeah, Patty, I have lots of videos on screen printing. I have one doing a 4-color CMYK print. I think it's got 20 or 30,000 views. That's a very popular one. That's actually one of my big things. Our shop, we have a screen print shop. So yeah, I screen print, but on the videos, it's just me working in the little small building, showing you, hey, Jesse, how's it going? Showing you how to print on like basic stuff and little tips and tricks, how to save money on printing. Starting out. Yeah, yeah, I'm like, trust me, I've taped it up a million times. You can see, like, this tape is like 20 years old right here. And then the tape on the inside, you can see, like, literally, my other one that I had in there, it was too bad. It's got the whole seam taped up and then the backside taped up because I had an artwork on the other side that was still holding good enough on the print. What I would do, Texas Finest, you can either use the the wraps and use a toaster oven, or one of the bigger things that are out. What mesh was it? This one was a yellow tab. I don't think they marked these corners. I think the yellows were 230s. Yeah, I think it's about a 230 on this one. And then here's another spot, like right here, you can see it's actually busted through. And so, like, granted, you're not printing up here, but when you're running your finger across here, you can feel like a speed bump all the way up to about right in here. So all that stuff changes the tension on it. Like I said, like, it's hard to see it, but like there are literally like waves in this mesh where all these wrinkles are, and like it's like a wave pattern where it stretches out all the way through here where it's that bad off. When did you do that, Lily? Was it like from one of the older downloads, Lily? No, I meant the link that you had. Was it one of the older links? Or did you just did you just go to the website just now and buy it, or was it one of the old ones? Email me which one it was, Lily, and I'll send you, make sure it sends straight to you. Because what it was on some of them, we changed the links. Yeah, that's what it is, Lily. There's a time limit on it. So let me know which one it was, Lily. And or just shoot me an email, Lily, and I'll get you the other one sent out. It's like Matt said, there's a time, like what it was, we put a time limit on the software, and then we put a limit of downloads. Just for the simple fact that like when I was first doing them, we were having people literally steal all the ones and repost them, resell them, or giving other people a link. So like my IP address would ping like 14 different IP addresses on the one person's download. So what it was is they were giving it to other people. So we put a thing on it where they can only do 3 downloads, and it times out after so long. But shoot me an email, Lily, and I'll get you the mask ones. Yeah, the toaster oven, Texas finest, Frankie. What you might want to do is, like I said, I've got videos on it, but like you'll want to see you want to see that image on there and make sure, because like you can see the image through the wrap, and if you're not seeing that, you don't have it long enough. Like Matt Griner said, like 375 for 4 minutes is usually the prime start point for most of the prints that everyone does on the wraps. Works almost every time. You can go a little bit longer. If you go too long, you will burn the image off the tumbler too, though. Texas finest. So you got to be careful on it. But your best bet is to get a thermometer, because your inside of them toaster ovens, like the one I got right there, they're not accurate. That gauge on the front is 50 to 75 degrees off.
I've got a thermometer I run inside there, a meat thermometer. No, like there's trying to think of their name. Mahmoud. 1 second. It's they got a mountain thing in their artwork. They've got two locations. Nashville Screen Printing Supplies. Atlas Screen Printing. Atlas Screen Printing Supplies. They've got a warehouse down there. And so I get a lot of the supplies from Atlas down there. Atlas has got a few places across the U.S., but they actually got a warehouse down in Nashville. They don't have everything that their main store has, but they have a lot of your basic stuff like your screens. Your screens they have them, but sometimes they don't have the size or mesh count you need, so they'll ship them from somewhere else. But like they always have stuff going on down there. Their Air Lane Drive, so it's out near it's almost out near the old Grimco area. Now the Nashville one, are you sure? Because I get supplied. I still call the Nashville rep called me the other day. I thought. Because see, it's telling me it's open still, even on the online thing. Maybe that's why mod. You gonna rock my shirt on the next live? I don't know. You gonna send me one, Stan? Depending what brand it is, I wear a 2 or a 3X. What's up, Stan? Yeah, I didn't know that, Ahmad. Like I said, that's who I used to. I just call their 800 number, and they'll ship the supplies from wherever it's at. Sent it with the screenshot. I know for sure it wasn't girly what I bought. That's fine, Lily. I'll get you all the mask ones. That's no problem. So are you over near? You said you're about 5 minutes from Grimco, Amon. So you're over near 40 and all that. Yes, Stan. But if you want to send me one, Stan, I'll wear it in the next one. I don't have a problem wearing it. I'll wear it the whole live. I do my lives on Saturday, so usually anyone that sends me swag, like see, I got Vega's skateboard there. I normally wear a Vega hat. Also, this is all stuff. Uh, okay, I got you where you're at. Yep. That was a good live yesterday, Stan. United Federation of Nerds says. So you're closer to me than me going to downtown area then, Amon. Because that's a lot closer than going over there. Like I did that trying to think of the park that's down there where you go past. You get on Briley, but you go down to the park down there, run near the river where the water park's at. Was it Nashville Shores? I did a turkey run. They didn't do it last year, I don't think. I did it 2 years in a row before that, though. It was a 8K turkey run on Thanksgiving. And so you get a donut if you finish it. They sent me a thing for this year, but I don't know if I'm going to do. I'm not in the best running shape, so. So how's your evening going, Stan? Are you an XL, Waldo? No, I don't fit XL at all. I can put an XL on, but it looks like it's painted on me. XLs don't fit me. I wear a 2X or 3X, depending what brand of shirt it is. Like Bella Canvas, which fits small anyways. I can wear it, but I can wear 2Xs. It just depends on, like I said, what it is. And then it changes how I got to wash it or treat it, because a lot of them sizes don't fit after. So it's like a 2 or 3X fits me better. I might go to the Graphics Expo in North Carolina. I don't know. Like, I was gonna go to the Impressions with because Ryan, everyone was going to them, but I'm not sure. Like, I mean, I haven't been to the last trade show, and it's been a while. Was the ones that Nashville had. I've been to like their where'd they hold the other ones? The last one was held at right behind which I call it Gaylord, but or not Gaylord, but the Ice Arena, Bridgestone, in the guitar shaped building. You got that blue popping. Yeah, Good Life plugs me a lot. I owe them big time on the plugs. Man, we're not doing too good right now. It's 19-22. The Blue is Michigan. Kind of nervous. They were only projected to win by, I think, 5 anyways. They do got the ball, though. So hopefully they can get a touchdown. But yeah, I haven't gone to a lot of the graphics expos in a while. I like going to them, but it's just been forever. Like I said, Nashville was the last ones I went to. And then the last one that they had, it was pretty bad. There wasn't much in there. I think there was 6 or 7 aisles, but like they were them short aisles, and it wasn't really worth going down there. Like it was fine if you've never been to that stuff, but it was like there wasn't much I wanted to see. Equipment, there wasn't much equipment in there. They had it, but the equipment was stuff I've already seen. So it's one of them things. It just depends. Like they got the wrap con and all that. I like seeing that stuff, but the take time, that's my hardest thing, is to take time off though for the events. Because then I'm taken away from everything else just to go check some of it out. Because like the downside too is like I can't bring nothing back on most of them areas, except if it's like in driving distance. And like North Carolina, it's I would fly into there. A lot of the expos I would fly into. I'm not going to drive into them. And the downside on that, there's nothing you can bring back really, because your carry-on sizes and then so you're either stuck shipping it back, which is kind of pricey, or you're hoping the vendor will send you some samples so you can try it out and do some videos on it. So it's kind of one of them things that to go for the products to show the stuff, it's not as easy with there not being close. And so, and then the cost to go to it, like the one that was up in I can't think the ISS that just happened up in New Jersey. That one, literally, if I would have went hotel, my flight, and all that stuff, it's like $1,000. So if I'm gonna film a video, I gotta make sure it's gonna make my money back, or it's something worth me going up there for. So I don't normally like. I'll go to some of these, but it's got to be worth my while. Like I said, I don't mind spending the money, but it's kind of, I want it to be interesting. And like I said, they canceled some of the other things. What they're going to do, some of the other vendors pulled out. So, but we'll see. Like I said, usually like the ones like there's bigger ones out like California and Florida. Them are a lot nicer ones. Thanks a lot, Matt. Like I said, I'll try to work on that, Matt. Either later today or tomorrow. Yes, Michigan's up, guys. 26-22. So it's going better. But yeah, Ahmad, send me your info and then send me some photos of your setup so I can kind of look at it and see what you're doing. And let me know what kind of ink you're using and all that, because like I said, it's not one thing. And I know you're saying you're only having the problem with white ink, but a lot of it could be like, for instance, if you're using a polyester ink, it's going to be thicker. Poly white ink is good because the advantages of that, you don't have to worry about dye migration and all that. The disadvantage, it's a thicker ink, so it's harder to press through them screens. So it takes a little bit more work, or you got to pre-mix it up really, really well. There you go, Matt. I posted it. It's Waldo2413 at gmail.com. Who likes boxing? I used to, growing up, I loved boxing, Denise. It was one of my favorite things, like watching it. Like I remember when Mike Tyson lost. I was at sixth grade camp when he lost, and I remember because I told my parents to send me the newspaper thing, and it was when I got back home that in front of that newspaper was Mike Tyson on the ground where he got knocked out, and it was like the number one thing was like, no, that count was too quick. But yeah, I grew up watching a lot of just different ones. It's kind of interesting to see how much they make compared to kind of UFC fighters. Like Floyd, I mean, Floyd can bankroll China. But then you watch like Connor and the money that Connor didn't get money till he did that thing with Floyd, really. I like to fight sister. That's not nice, Lily. See, on that one, Denise, I like the Gypsy, Tyson Fury. Like, man, when he got hit last time by Dante. 1 second. Like, it reminded me of like watching the Undertaker. Like, he literally sat up like someone possessed or something. I mean, because he got knocked out and just popped back up. But I guess why I like Tyson Fury, like you look at him And the guy is like, he's like not like Wilder's like ripped perfectly in shape. Then you look at Fury and you're like, dude, that guy's chubby. Like I mean, better shape than me, but like he just does not look like you stand them side by side and you're like, he ain't got a chance. But man, that guy has got a heart. Like he can take a punch and he can throw a punch. Like he's just when you have they both said it runs through their veins. Well, I got one for you, Lily and Denise. When you have three older sisters and you get hand me down clothes, then no, I'm just joking. My parents got me my clothes. but yeah, like I said, I mean, I think that fight's gonna be. I forgot that was tonight. I keep flipping on the Michigan score, Denise, to see because Michigan State won earlier, but and Michigan's up right now. But I'm worried about them not pulling it off. My boss, he's a huge Ohio State fan, which they ran through everyone today, but I really want Michigan and Michigan State to beat Ohio State this year. And I'd like Michigan to go. I mean, the problem is Michigan versus Michigan State, they're going to play right before the Ohio State game. But so one of them will be hopefully undefeated still by them, but it's kind of one of the I just want a Michigan team to win. So are you watching that fight, Denise, or I didn't know you were a big boxer. I mean, I know you had Joe Louis and all that, but and then like growing up, like I remember watching old stuff like Rocky Marciano. That guy could fight. How long is screen print ink good after you open it? Patty said. Oh, sorry, Patty. I just seen that. Patty, I've got ink that's over 10 years old, and as long as it's not like water-based ink, yeah, the water's going to evaporate. The ink's going to be no good. Plastisol ink, you can just keep mixing it up. You could even put reducer in it if it was a little too thin, but that ink will last a very, 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 very long time. Especially if you put that lid on it. I mean, that ink's not going to go bad within like the time of you using it. Just don't leave it open. Don't set it on hot things because like if you set it on like a dryer and your dryer's kind of warm, you can dry that ink, especially if it's a low cure ink. But for the most part, the ink is going to last. It's not really going to go bad per se. So let me guess, Denise, you want Wilder to win, don't you? See, my thing is Wilder is so much of a showman. Like he came out with that last time. He came out with that whole body outfit and that mask on, and I was like, man, that's just overkill. Like I don't know, it's too much showboating. And so when I seen that, I was like, man, that's just it's kind of like that's why I wanted the Gypsy to win. And I guess like because he didn't come out and all that stuff, he just came out and fought. And I was like, Wilder made a whole show of wearing that thing, and of course, he brought up that with some of the reasons and all that, the weight of it and all that. And I'm like, but you knew you were going in the ring to box, like, why wear all that? Yeah, Patty, like literally, like ink will like I said, I mean, and it's one of the things like if you put the like your stirring stick in there and it doesn't even move, yeah, then it's kind of old. But like in general, like I've like the ink that I use in that shop out there, I've got a whole like if you watch any of my old videos, Patty, the side of that building is 10 foot and that building's 23 foot long, 23 or 25. But it's 8 foot by 25. It is floor to ceiling filled with ink. Because I bought other shops out and we just box the stuff up, put it in there. And I've opened cases just to show and all that and do that on videos and use some of the ink when I'm out there. And that ink still works, still holds up. I mean, it's granted new fresh ink. It's a little bit easier sometimes. It might mix quicker, but once you mix the like the stuff that's in it where they start separate, once you get it mixed, that stuff, as long as it was kind of good putting it in, like if you left this much in there, yeah, 15 years no good. But if you had a whole jar and it's sealed, yeah, honestly, it would still hold up, I would bet. Plastisol ink is very, very forgiving. Like how long it lasts, how long it holds up. So it's not like something. Now emulsion, on the other hand, because you have different emulsions and all that stuff, different additives on it. Some of it, when you coat a screen, you've only got like a 3-month window. Some of it, you have a life on some of it. Some of it is less, some of it is more. So that stuff you got to watch out. So like, don't go buy a big thing of emulsion, like a gallon of it. If you're not going to use a bunch of it, buy a quart. But in general, yeah, Patty, just go back to my earlier stuff. Like I've got videos from everything. Waldo, do you have an auto? Yes. I have a Anatol and an M&R. The Anatol, the reason I'm not big on Anatol is a service that I've got from them. Anatol is a cheaper press to get into on the autos compared to like the M&R. But like I've helped Vega many a times. We've called and like, hey, here's how to fix that. Here's where to get these parts. I've gave him some of my valves that I have, some of my Mac valves and all that, because they work. His is a pneumatic. My Anatol does have pneumatic, but only on the indexing. But like the Anatol, it's just to get help, to get service from them was not. They weren't that good to me. M&R has always been good. Now I know Anatol sent all these people presses that some of you guys watch, and like, yeah, they take care of these people. They send them belts when they broke a belt for tightening it wrong. Because what they did is they took their marketing budget for the year, and that was when COVID hit, and they knew that they weren't going to be doing shows for the whole year. So what they did is they're like, hey, we've got this much of a budget. Let's give it to the YouTubers that people are watching and literally use that marketing budget for that. And so instead of going to the shows, because that budget would have went to the shows of them flying to the shows, shipping that equipment there and all that stuff. So they're like, hey, can we make more money doing it this way? And has it marketed and helped the sales? Anatol knows I don't. But I can say some of the people represented him really well, did great videos on their stuff. And they were honest, a lot of them. Like Rye, hands down, very honest. When he had issues with the relay the other day on his dryer, he was honest. He was like, hey, I couldn't find that relay anywhere. He's in California. Yeah, I knew they gave all them YouTubers new Anatols. And like I said, like they did send him other fuses after, but the point was when his dryer went down, he needed it to work that day, and it wasn't a local part he could go pick up. He even looked at like part warehouses and all that normally have industrial stuff. They didn't have some of them fuses he needed. He was able to get by because he called and he was like, hey, they said I can use this. What do you think? And I'm like, yeah, it'll get you through. But that's the thing with Anatol. And then like the big thing with me is like once my press was about an $80,000 new press. The problem is like 10 years down the line, still using it. A press should last that longer. I used to have a 65 Mustang. I've got a 73 Mustang Mach 1 also. I can still go get parts at AutoZone. Super old vehicle. It's older than me. Both of them are. But you can still go get parts. You might have to wait a day or two for it. They still make parts. my Anatol presses, some of them, they don't make parts. They can't work on them. They can't get me parts. And when you spend that much, something 10 years old, you would hope that they would be able to fix it easy. I had to call, it's like OTS or whatever, and have them work on it and fix it for me. And they're just an outside company. They had the program to be able to reflash the hard drive, where the Anatol didn't even have it. They said they were going to have to send it overseas to where the program was at. So that's my thing with Anatol. And I mean, yeah, like, and even on, like, one hopped on Rise Live and I commented about the service. I've commented on the service when Anatol was on Cam's Live. And literally a lot of them was like, well, hey, we're not that bad. We try to work on it, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, you're going to say that, but I've got proof from me. What is the best auto in your opinion? Here's the thing. I haven't used a rock. Ryan, if you're out there, I mean, I know you send whatchamacallit, Lee, all that stuff up there. If you want to send me a little auto, I'll gladly check it out and test it. I haven't used a rock. I've heard some nice things about rock. I've heard not bad things, but I've heard things like their auto registration is a little quirky on how you got to set the jig up if you want to use the jig. Not everyone uses jigs when they set it up, so that's not that important. I do like how the heads lift up and down instead of the whole platen head on it. But I haven't used a rock. I've only seen a few, and I haven't really got to go mess with it. So that being said, I can't give my opinion on rock if I haven't used one. Or got to even mess with it. Like, I've messed with, like, browns. My friend had a brown. I've had a brown in here in my shop that literally was just kind of what I'd call passing through. It was going to be moving to someone else. My friend's like, here, use it for a little while. The brown auto, but I've had a brown manual press, but hands down, barring the rock thing, because I haven't had a rock, or got to really mess with it. I'd probably say M&R. M&R keeps equipment. You can call and literally you can get something from 30 years ago on some of their presses, and they still have that stuff in stock on their warehouse. They can literally, they'll categorize it. You can go on their online thing and all that, used to anyways, and check for parts and all that. Might not be right there, and it might not be parts you can go get away. Yeah, there's the Anatol rep right there. Burrito filled donuts. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, like M&R to me, it's just like they're the OGs. They've been around forever, and it shows. And then what I mean about that too, like Brown's been around a long time, but Brown only grew up so big. M&R is a leader in the industry, and they're a leader for a reason. The good customer service, their presses, they hold up. Like I said, Anatol's not bad. But like, if I had to do it again, I wouldn't have bought that Anatol, knowing what I know. And the reason I say that is just because the service I've got. Now, would they be better now? Now that I do YouTube videos too, would they maybe handle it differently? Maybe. But the problem is I shouldn't have to do videos. I shouldn't have to be someone like that to get them to give me better service. They should treat every customer the same. So that being said, like I said, does the press work? Yeah, the press is a decent press. Quality wise, it's not up to par as the other, but you're saving the money on it. So like what I would have had to pay on another press, it probably would have been probably another $5,000 or $10,000 more. So like you got to factor that. What's up, Rye? Hey guys, Rye was at a record shop today. Pretty sweet looking record. Rye says, I ain't no Anatol rep. But he's got him on speed dial. No. Yeah, like I was saying though, Rye, like I was saying, you're one of the few people that will tell the honest fact about it. Like when you had issues with the fuse where you couldn't get the fuse locally. Like if you want to see an honest review on an Anatol, Rye is getting ready, because I watched his live the other day. Rye is getting ready to drop a video, his 1 year review on his Anatol. And honestly, guys, Rye, hands down, is one of the most honest people on it. He's not going to sugarcoat it. If there's something wrong, he's going to tell you, hey, they did this, they did that. Rye, I'm still waiting for my Rye Beats hat. I'm just saying that. Look, I got Rye Beats swag somewhere else. I could wear it too, Rye. I'm a sucker for wearing free swag if you want to send it, Rye. You know that. since you can't send me food here, Rye, apparently. But Rye, want another Mexican burrito? You'll eat for a week. I'm out of money. Honestly, Scott, if I was a YouTuber, I would never accept anything from anyone just to get it free and talk good about it, knowing that it's a POS. Yeah. And see, that's my thing. I haven't had any company approach me. Like, not a swag. Like, I actually paid for the hats, believe it or not. The shirts he don't sent to me. But like I said, like, no one sends me anything, I guess, because they know I'm kind of brutally honest. McLeod, like, even on their direct to films, I bought their direct to films, and he's like, "I'll send you them." I'm like, "No, I'm gonna pay." And I said, because I don't want you to expect me to give you a good review if it's not good. Literally, in his review, I mean, the bag was busted. I was honest, and I was like, his transfer, like, when you print these transfers, it takes you 10 seconds to look and be like, hey, this is not the best print. Maybe I should fix this. Splatter over here. He didn't do that. And then, because he called me after, he's like, hey, thanks for doing the review, but we had this problem or that one, and then someone else printed the prints. You should check if you cared about the product, you should check it all before it goes out. And like I said, if the thing is like, and I'll say this, I've done computer reviews where how it worked, and it's not the computer I built here, I put on some other ones. How it worked is they sent me the product, I did a review, and I kept the stuff. If they didn't like my review, because they got the video, I didn't produce it, or I didn't air it on my thing. But that's how the review went. Did they ever air the video? No. Because I was honest, and I mean, it was a good review. But in general, like I said, I've never got anything. Stan said he might send me a shirt to wear next week. Stan, I don't think you're still listening, but if you are, Stan, you got my contact stuff. I'll wear your shirt, Stan. Rye, I'll rock your hat. But no. But yeah, in general, most companies, hey, you DJing tonight, Rye, over at the Beer Baron? Because I know you've been on their little beer Baron kick. But yeah, Mod, like, it's one of the things it's hard to, like, because some of these companies expect more out of it. Like I said, I did sports professionally, and when you're in being sponsored, like, I had one company, I could be honest as could be. I had another company that, like, if I said something, I mean, they didn't like it. No, taking a not tonight. Well, that's good, Rye. I'm glad you stopped in, Rye. Hey, Rye, do you need my address and maybe my hat size or anything, Rye, by any chance? No. Because I don't think Juan's ever going to send me that stuff. I mean, he made the hats, and he hasn't sent anything. He just don't want to send them, I guess, Rye. So I don't know what to say. So I can't rock a Rye hat unless I get it straight from Rye. So I got to have the Chinese man make a Chinese knockoff of his own product, I guess. No. So if you want to send me it, Rye, no. But I'm like, that's what I was saying. Like, it's hard because, like I said, and that's like inks. Is that Stan that does the Cosmo ink? Is that ink any good? No, Stan he has his own thing. He was always pushing Super Color, and me and him always. That's why he was joking, asking if I would wear his shirt. Because I did videos on him about taking money from, like, pushing Super Color and all that stuff. But Cosmo Ink is some other guy, and I don't use that ink. I won't use that ink. I've tried it before. And my thing is like a lot of these other ones, like Cosmo Ink blew up big time. And what it is that guy literally, he buys ink from China and rebrands it. Nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of them out here that do that. The problem is they can't do, like, they don't, most, like, Cosmo Inc., if you go to his channel, he probably deleted a lot of it. Literally a year and a half ago or 2 years, it'd be 2 years now, he knew nothing about even what sublimation was. And he's got videos on it. He did a hat thing first and all that. He knew nothing about it. Now he's fairly big in the ink resale thing. Hey, Impossible, how's it going? Thanks a lot, Ray. I'm glad you ordered, Ray. Thank you so much. You don't have an address. I have to tell Smokey Willie to drop it off at the horse boonies. With the horse boonies. That's funny, Rye. Literally, the funny thing when you said that, Rye, my Mennonite neighbors, they had a little shindig or get together today, and there was like probably 20 or 30 horse and buggies over there because that's how they get around. They all drive horse and buggies. So when you say that, it kind of made me laugh thinking about that because literally there's horses and buggies all over there. How's it going, Impossible? Thank you so much, Ray. But yeah, so like the Cosmo Inc., like I said, the other issue too is he might now, but up until like 6 months ago, he didn't even have a way to do quality control checks. He wasn't like sending it to a lab and having it analyzed. Literally, it was coming over pre-boxed, pre-bagged, and just shipping it out. And like, hey, I'm fine with people doing that. Like my masks don't come from China; they come from India and Pakistan. But like, we do quality checks on them when they come here. But and my tumblers, I mean, I order from China. My tumblers, everyone does, and like, I don't hide that and be like, hey, these are metal made from my own shop. I just buy in bulk where it makes it cheap enough that I can resell it to other people that couldn't buy that kind of bulk that I do. Oh man, have a great night, everyone. Thanks a lot, Rye. Glad you stopped by, Rye. Good to hear you and see you, man. Let's get the Amish in on the merch too. Look, I'll try, Lily. They don't. For one, they're the ones that invented button fly jeans. They don't use zippers. I don't know if you know that. Good info on the Cosmo ink. I have some, but went with the Epson Sublimation ink instead. Yeah, and like I said, I mean, they don't have a way to, and he might have quality check now. Man, the game's tied 29-29. But like the problem is like there's nothing wrong with people doing pop-up companies. Like everyone's getting their paper made now. Everyone's got their own brand of sublimation paper. They're all getting it from China. Here's the thing. Your major brands that's been around a lot longer, they've got labs here. They do quality checks. Like was it Sublimation Besties or whatever, and then you've got Garment Creation. Like he doesn't have a lab. So how can you tell me the consistency of the paper, what's on the paper, what's this does? Like they can't. They're just going by what China tells them and all that. And so, like a good example, the reason I don't sell direct to film ink, I buy it by like tons of it. The reason I don't sell it to other people, I can't do a quality check on that. I put that in my printer. As long as my prints come out, I'm content because I'm using it for myself. But I can't do batch checking for me to do a quality check to say, hey, this one was better than the last one. There's something wrong with that. I can check it when I run it through my machine, but that's my problem when these other people do it. So that's my reason why I don't sell inks. I don't like. I've been in it long enough. I can tell you inks that I've seen better than others. Like Cobra down in Tennessee, they do checks. They mix their own stuff there. And they can kind of analyze it better that way. But in general, most of the other people, they're just pop-up companies. And so I bought wine tumblers from Five Below, and the rim is in the shape, and the rim is sharp. Afraid to drink from it without the lid because I lost it. Look, Lily, that's a good drinking game cup then. Like, hey, it's your turn to drink out of the cup now with the sharp razor edge. Good information on the Cosmo ink. But yeah, and that's like I was saying, it's just one of them things that the quality check isn't there. And hey, like it might all come over fine. People have good reviews. But if you read like where I've done the videos on sublimation printers, and I've done 2 different ones from way back 2 or 3 years ago to even one this year. My older ones gets more views for some reason. That older one though, everyone asks, they're like, how do I fix print problems? And literally they're having print head clog. Do you get print head clogs with even Epson ink? Yeah, my printer's been sitting, like I told you, 2-3 months. I've still got to clean out though. It worked fine. Printer shouldn't sit that long and not run either. But most of these people where they have print problems. Hey Shayna, how's it going? Glad to have you on here. I got lots of friends in Cali. But like what I was saying too is like most of them people had the issues with the ink. If you look, my next question is, okay, what's the problem? What ink are you using? And I asked the questions to try to help fix the problem. Most of them are not using Epson ink. That is the number one thing. Most of them in the group are using 1 to 2 inks. And it's coming down to the fact that it's the ink problem, not the print problem. So that's what I tell people too. It's like I can't predict what these other inks do. I can tell you this: Epson does quality checks, and here's what I'll say too. My large format Epson 42-inch printer that I have, and I've done a video on it and explained that I had issues with the chip reset. Epson sent me, because it's bag inks. Them bags are $100 and something a bag. Epson sent me 4 bags of ink just because one chip was bad. So they sent me $400 worth of ink when I didn't buy any from them. The ink came when I got the one printer, and then the chip was bad on it. But instead of them saying, because they don't sell just the chip, instead of them just saying, hey, buy a new bag, try this, or this, and then here's a nice thing too. They overnighted that ink to me. No charge to me whatsoever. Overnighted it and got everything pretty much as far along as they could for me to get it to print again. So like I said, it's kind of one of them things. It's none of these other ink companies are going to send me a bag of ink, $100 bag of ink, 4 of them, so $400 worth of ink, no questions asked, just to make sure they get their product gets up and running good. I wasn't endorsed by them. They don't pay me anything. That's good customer service. That's why I like Epson. That's why I say use Epson inks. What's a good starter printer for banners? The depending what size you want to do, Ray. And here's the thing: the Roland BN20. It's a solvent-based printer. It's like 20 inches, 24 inches wide. Some people go with that because of the price. Depending on the width of the banners you want to make, for one, that might be too small for you. Got to run, Waldo. Have a good night. Have a good night, Mike. Man, guys, go like Mike's channel, guys, if you haven't already. He changed his name, but he used to be Mike the Entrepreneur. Now he's United Federations of Nerds. Pretty cool. We're going to do a video soon with this stuff, guys, but go like him and check him out. But Ray, the other thing is, depending on the width of the banners you want, I think I'll stick with Epson. I'm using the Eco Tank 15,000 converted. Yeah, Patty, that's like literally I've got them videos and I use it all the time. And like I started to reach for the tumblers, but literally I did a video a few weeks back. And then I did some more videos, and I did them on one of the presses right over there, the cup presses. And I ended up, I don't have the cups, I gave them away, but I started to reach for it to show it because the inks are like spot on still. Although I bought the 8.5 frames from photo panel that from the photo panels that you sell. Thanks a lot, Texas Finest. But on the print side, Ray, hey, Shayna, how's it going, Shayna? What kind of stuff do you do? Do you sublimate, Shayna? Do you print? Do you heat press? What's your kind of thing? And how about you too, Ray? I've noticed you two new people. But depending on that, Ray, after the if you want to do a bigger, let's say you want to do 4 foot wide, then it comes down to what kind of ink you want. Because here's the thing, banners you don't have to laminate them. With solvent ink though, solvent ink, eco solvent ink. If you're making stickers, you have what's called off gassing. You have to let that sit for close to 24 hours before you can laminate it. So if you're buying a printer to do that, which most stickers are done on solvent printers, so you have to pick out DTF, sublimation, embroidery, sometimes vinyl. Awesome, Ray. So what you have to do is figure out what kind of, like, for instance, are you buying it just for banners? What size banner you want to do? And then it comes kind of to brand loyalty. They all are running crazy deals right now. The Matamat is by HP 315 latex. That's what I was gonna get on. Like, he's got the 560. That's pretty cool, man. Like, I just picked up a 370 2 weeks ago. But I've never ran latex, and but that's what I was gonna say. The other thing, Ray, latex, on a sublimation print, or not sublimation, sorry, on a solvent printer, if you let that sit for being 20 too small, I think. Also, people ask for bigger ones. Yeah, I'm not big on, like, I don't like rolling, and I know a lot of people do. I've had a rolling and didn't care for it. They got nice features, but some of the stuff I don't care for. Brand wise, I've always liked Momaki, but Momaki's kind of pricey. The other thing too, Epson's slamming it big into the print thing. And here's the other thing, like a Muto and all that. Mutos are great. They do a wave. It's called a wave on their ink, so you don't see banding as bad. But like Mike said, which Mike's not on here anymore, he had to hop off for the evening. Like Mike was saying, when you're running a like a Muto, they're using Epson heads. So Epson is always going to have the latest and greatest print head because they're the ones making the print head. So their printers technically can be more advanced than a Muto and all that. Now, Muto, like I said, they do the wave thing to change how the droplets are coming out of it. But at the end of the day, they're working with the latest, the older head style than what Epson puts out. But latex has a lot of advantages over solvent inks. Like solvent inks, for instance, the off gassing, the 24 hours. Yeah, thanks a lot, Ray. Yeah, the solvent inks, you have off gassing, so you got 24 hours if you're going to do stickers before you can laminate them. Hey Leonardo, how's it going? You don't have that issue with latex. Latex, yeah, you want to wait maybe an hour or two to technically laminate it, but you could, if you had to, run it through. I mean, it's one of them little debates, but technically there is no wait time on latex. The other thing too, if that printer sits, like for instance, my UV printer in there, if it sits is like where it's just on the sleep mode and it cycles and does it, if you did that with a solvent printer and let it sit, let's say a week or 2 weeks, more than likely that print head is shot and destroyed on a solvent printer. Solvent printers, them print heads are $1,000 to $2,000 a print head, depending what model. Some of them run 2 print heads. Some of them run 1 for each color. Just depends on which one it is. So it can be very, very pricey. Latex printers, their print heads are only designed to last so long. So their print heads, like for instance, the HP, it's about $125 a print head. So it is a changeable item, that it's a disposable item. So what you do, you pop it out, you put a new one in, you tell it to calibrate it. what it's going to do is it's got an eye there, and it's going to literally do its print, do its check. So if that print head was cocked a little bit, it's going to calculate that and recalibrate it for it. My directive film I have, my 24-inch in there, it's a Chinese one. That one doesn't do, literally, like I had to do every print head, and I'm using like this RIP 6, and it was so hard. Like literally, I spent loads of evenings with China getting it calibrated, the print head, just because. And here's an example. Like now it's all fixed, but and it's hard to see it. This one wasn't too bad, but like right here, see the white where the colors didn't register perfectly. That's part of the print head because it has multiple print heads in there, so it's not all coming through one print head. If it was, you wouldn't have them problems. But since they're coming through each print head, you have to calibrate them differently. Another person that has a lot of advice is Leonardo. Leonardo is very educated. And like Leonardo saying, latex has its advantages. Like I said, for one, if you can literally print and send that product out right that day. Like I said, banners you don't have to laminate anyway, so you don't have to worry. And then he says latex printers over 3 years will run the same as regular Epson print heads. So yeah. Hey Martin Jones, how's it going? Much respect from the Fresno, California. Thanks so much, Ray. Yeah, and like I said, like Leonardo said, that so the cost, which I didn't think about it that way, because you do end up changing the print heads in Epson. Like you're not going to run it for the life of that thing; they're going to go out. So the time that from the time that you buy them to the amount of the print head that you swap out on, like let's say a Epson print head, your cost is going to be the same, but it's spread out throughout the time. The other advantage too, you don't need a tech to calibrate the Epson print heads or the HP print heads compared to the like an Epson print head. You can somewhat calibrate, but some of them like Muto's, that program is locked. You got to have them unlock it if they're going to give you that to do the calibration of the print heads. There's a little program and things they do, kind of like on when I calibrated my direct to film. I calibrated it. The rep was on the phone. He explained how to do it. It's a nuisance. So that's not fun. The HPs do it themselves. And like Leonardo posted, which is the thing I said, it's $125 per print head. So you got CMYK. The other ones, well, you actually got more. You got CMYK. You got lights. There's seven colors in there because you got a another thing. But pretty much, so you got the print heads where on the an Epson head you're going to spend about $2,000. So that cost too is it's spread out amongst the time, so it's not as bad. Now Christian that was on here earlier too, and I don't know how true this is. I know it was true for him because he showed me the stuff, but HP they charge you $50 when you call for the tech service, and it's so long a phone call. And they'll talk you through it, try to work it through. If not, you have two different things. It's $1,500 for them to come within like 3 to 5 days, or it's $2,000 for them to be there within like 1 to 2 days. And literally when they come, like they came and rebuilt his whole thing, and they didn't charge him anything that was tied into that cost. And then he says HP needs to fix the 2 to 3 foot of waste. Yeah. And so, and like he was saying too, like Leonardo knows that's the nice thing about having so many followers. There's all these people that have experience in different things. Like Leonardo does a lot, man. Like he's one of the few people that very educated on this stuff. And like he was saying, like his like the thing too, he said the only reason is not to jump because of media waste. You're feeding 2 to 3 feet of waste on that stuff. So on the media, you're wasting that much material every time, where the other ones you're not. So like I said, they've got goods and bads with both. The big thing, Ray, sorry about that, Ray, is to figure out which one works best for you. And or what your budget is too on the to do the banner prints. Because some are like, the other thing too, HP, because the heat that it uses, um, some medias aren't, they've got their own list of medias that it can be used. You just can't go buy any standard media, but there's advantages of it too, because how it prints, you can print on other medias that you can't print on with a solvent printer. So if I was starting, I would do latex. So there's probably the best answer. Like I said, Leonardo's done them both. I've only done solvent printers. And I can tell you there's a lot of headache with solvent printers. Like if you're not running it every day and you let like if you're like, hey, I'm going to go on vacation for 2 or 3 weeks, that can be a nightmare for that printer. Latex, man, I know people, and there's videos out here too. People just like literally just let it sit there, and then even if they had to swap it out, I mean, there's no issues with them. So I mean, there are both. When you go super scale, do UV. Yeah, and that's my plan eventually, to go to the Mamaki UV. Trying to think who it was. Someone just got one on here recently. That is my next printer I would like to go to. Not their flatbed, but just their large scale, or their roll UV. Just because you can do even like some crazy stuff. You got the varnish on there, so you can do 3D stickers and all that stuff. You can do quite a bit of stuff with it. So I'm going to hop off here. Thanks a lot, Patty. Yeah, it ended up being a long night tonight. I'm getting ready probably too in a few minutes to hop off. I have a party next Saturday, so I'll chat the week after. All right, Patty. Thank you so much, Patty. Patty, keep an eye out. I sent you that stuff. So just keep an eye in the mail, Patty. It got shipped out late. Stay away from the new. You don't like the new Mamaki, Leonardo? They pulled it off the market. I thought they were. See my. That's fine, Lily. Thank you so much. See my my Mamaki dealer in Nashville. He still has it. Was pushing it. So if you were going solvent, Leonardo, would you go? I know we talked about you're not sold on the Epson yet, but what would you go to, Leonardo, on if you're going solvent? Would you give the Epson a shot, or would you go to Muto, or would you go to Mamaki for a solvent printer? What would be your solvent printer choice? Because see, like Epson, okay, yeah. See, Mike from NovaWorks, he actually just got that Epson, and he was literally a diehard Muto person. Yeah, like Leonardo said, like best price, best 2 years. Like the deal that Mike was saying that he got on it compared to like even what he could get a Muto for, it's hard to beat the Epson right now. Like I said, when I had my Mamaki, Epson wasn't making the printers like that. But the price of the Epson, like I said, the nice thing too, Epson's the one that creates print heads. So most of these print heads are going to be an Epson print head or a Ricoh print head. So like you're better off buying a company that makes the print heads and the printer if they do. So like I said, I would honestly look at the Epson, Ray. They're fairly good price. Like I said, like they've got like the new, what is it, 7 colored, I think Mike's running on his, or he might have just went with the CMYK, but I ran the Epson for 2 years. it's okay, but red ink is going to fail the machine. Yeah, so like the big thing, like Ray too, is like I said, check out. Um, you're wearing the same shirt, Frankie. But like, if you get a chance, Ray, check out some of the expos that they have out there, where they'll have like the graphic expos, not really the screen printing expos, because that's the cool thing about them. You can see the prints, you can see the speeds that they're doing. Epson Pantone was not up to par for me. And then that's the other thing, Ray, is look at what you're going to be printing. Like, for instance, like where he brought up the Pantone. Are you going to be printing stuff that has to meet certain colors? Are you going to be just printing banners for local baseball leagues or whatever? Because like I said, all that kind of matters. And like I said, I haven't ran my Epson yet, so or my HP yet, so I can't really say. But I do know too. A lot of people's like, hey, the colors. It's hard to keep constant colors with it. Like I said, I got a killer deal on the HP. I got that, and I got that Suma Tangino or tangential cutter. I got a killer deal on them both. With 63-inch printer and then the 53-inch plotter. So I really couldn't pass up the deal I got. But like I said, it's just something to try and me to try something different. That's why I switched to Muto. All right. But like I said, it's one of them things too. Like I said, if you go to one of them, the conventions, Ray, like I said, you'll get this kind of see. Because like I said, the good example too is like ask people on here, like when next time you're on, or because I know you're on Wands a lot too, you said, check with Mike from NovaWorks, and he'll give you his input on, because Mike's been doing it a long time. He'll give you his input on why he went with the Epson and all that stuff. Epson is a good banner, good vehicle wrap, great round printer. Only drawback is 4-color media is high density and very slow. I'm done both coffee mugs and chromoblast pictures, same result. Martin Jones. Chromolux pictures, same results. That's pretty good, Martin. Yeah, and like Leonardo said too, like the big thing too is look at, because like I said, if you're wanting just a well-rounded one, Epson's the way to go. The speed isn't going to be there. So you gotta, like, you always got to factor in what you're going to need. If you if you're not slammed with it, like I watched Alvalu, and he switched to the Roland recently, but like he just finally got now where he's literally swamped, where he's needing extra printer. If you're not printing that much, you don't need multiple printers. But like you always eventually want to look in expanding your business or growing or buying multiple ones. And if you can afford to buy a 64-inch, do not buy the 54-inch model. Yeah, so that's the other thing too. So like if you can buy the bigger, buy it. Like he said, you'll be more happier down the line. But like I said, there's a lot like where your question was too. You figured the people would want a bigger banner anyways. So if it's in your budget, like he said too, go the bigger one. I mean, you won't really regret it after. Hey Leonardo, did you ever get the equipment picked up from the press and all that from Florida, or no? I will never buy a 54-inch printer again. You will regret the 54-inch. Well, that's definitely good to hear. Did you get it up and running yet, or? Flawless finish. Perfect. I should have asked about DTF. I bought a headache printer. You probably know which one that is. Yeah, Ray, that's the thing is like like where I've had DTF 10,000K impressions this week alone. That is awesome, Leonardo. I'm glad to see you getting like I told you you'd be happy with the M&R. Yeah, Ray, that's what I was telling so many people about like buying some of the DTF is like maintenance on them, keeping them like you got to do a lot to them to keep them. DTF is not a simple machine. Just because even like the Chinese ones, they're not really made for it. You're using equipment that is used for other things originally. Like I said, I've got the i3200 heads in mine, no problems yet. But like I said, I've got mine does an auto cycle. Mine literally pumps the ink through the head and regenerates it. My bad, one of those copies. Okay. Oh, the M&R is not there yet. Okay. Oh, you got the copier, yeah. But yeah,